All right, welcome back, Tulsi Kratz and Radical Independents, Green Party folks. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for subscribing to the channel. We continue to grow as a channel, and that is because I am a blabbermouth, and the fact that apparently you guys like that. So I'm going to continue talking. Please, if you can help support the channel via Patreon, and we can have little conversations too. If you support me on Patreon, you send me a message, I will reply to you. Social media is a little different. I don't know who I'm dealing with, and typically, I hate to say it like this, but if you're giving me money, I'm assuming that you like what I'm doing, and you're not there as a protagonist. So that's just common sense. So also, you can support me one time via PayPal, and typically I put my PayPal email into almost every video description, so you can go search that out. Hopefully I'll remember to do it on this video. Tulsi Gabbard surprises me. She changes course on impeachment. She's read the memo, and she's decided to go along with impeachment. This comes from ABC, which I used to call the Always Bill Clinton channel when I was a conservative, when I was a faux conservative. Hawaii Rep. Tulsi Gabbard, previously a lone holdout among the crowded field of 2020 presidential hopefuls, says she has changed her mind after reading the transcript. Trump basically is trying to call out Biden during this thing, and my honest opinion is both of these men are very corrupt. Okay? So this is my diplomatic way of saying, if you're a supporter of Joe Biden, he's corrupt. He's obviously working with Ukraine on behalf of his son, and Trump didn't like that, and Trump thought he could use that and leverage that and show people, much like what should have happened to Hillary Clinton but didn't. So all of these people are corrupt. Trump is corrupt, and Biden is corrupt. Biden isn't the president. He wants to be the president. And the establishment said, whoa, hold on. And they said, yep, this will be enough for impeachment. Will it, though? Will it? Is it going to get through the Senate? You know, I learned a lot about impeachment during Bill Clinton, and you can be impeached. Bill Clinton was impeached in the House of Representatives. A lot of people don't realize that because they think impeachment is the same as being removed. You need a conviction in the Senate, and that is very difficult. Very difficult. Anyway, Tulsi says, up to this point, I have been opposed to pursuing impeachment. By the way, as a footnote here, this distracts. This is just a big, fat distraction from the issues of the day. You're going to have an honest debate about things like Medicare for All, which I just covered in another video. If you want to talk about the poor, the homeless, the mortgage crisis that's looming, the rental crisis that's current, the possibility of recession, you know, the stuff that affects normal people from day to day. If you want to have that conversation, you got to shout above the circus now, because this will be a circus. The Clinton thing was a circus. Anyway, however, after looking carefully at the transcript of the conversation with Ukraine's president, the whistleblower complaint, the Inspector General memo, and President Trump's comments about the issue, unfortunately, I believe that if we do not proceed with the inquiry, easy for me to say, it will set a very dangerous precedent. Gabbard says she worries if she doesn't support the impeachment process, future presidents and other federal leaders may get the idea that it's okay to abuse their position for personal gain without repercussion. The issue is, does this rise to high crimes and or misdemeanors? Here's my take on all of this. If you were to tell me impeachment proceedings are beginning, and this will never happen because the Democrats are complicit in all this stuff because Trump illegally lobbed missiles into Syria. If you told me impeachment proceedings were imminent because there's obvious nepotism going on with Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner, I would say, please start impeachment proceedings. Those are a couple of the reasons I am no longer a Donald Trump fan. And I have been very forthcoming telling people that I do not believe in nepotism. And obviously Joe Biden believes in nepotism, although he's not the president, but he was a vice president, so it's nepotism. So again, Trump and Biden kind of on the same page here. Big opening, by the way, for a progressive who can show that they're not for corruption. Okay, because corruption, you could put corruption at the top of your list, and I would clap and agree with your position that we should not have corruption in our government. That should be number one. They go on here, she is one of 2 millennials and the first female combat veteran to run for president. However, in recent days, the spotlight has focused less on her accomplishments and more on her divergent opinion on impeachment compared to the other candidates. So she's not tribal enough for the tribe, so we're not going to worry about what she actually stands for. What did I just say about distractions? This is just one big, fat, giant distraction from the issues. And people will say, well, you're just trying to defend Trump at this point. I don't care. Trump can go down. In fact, like I said, I'd love to see someone write up some real articles impeachment based on, again, stuff like the coup that was staged, right, in Venezuela. Hello? How about that? Okay, I'm totally on board with that. I'm so excited I can't even talk. You got that. You got the stuff that went on in Syria. Oh, by the way, and we're ratcheting up propaganda, so we'll go to war in Iran. All of those things, for me, as somebody who cares about real issues and not about this Ukraine thing, which, it's minor. It's actually very minor compared to, I don't know if it's a high crime. It's using the office of the presidency, which probably every president has done. If we want to go back into the archives, I don't think we're going to want to get too much into what Obama did, and obviously George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, and then the late George H.W. Bush, maybe even Ronald Reagan. I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. I think if you're going to impeach Donald Trump, you need a little bit more substance. You need, for me, now, this may work, but again, in the Senate, I don't know how you get a conviction in the Senate. The tides have changed as she joins the growing list of lawmakers and presidential candidates in support of impeachment. If we allow the president to abuse his or her power, then our society will rot from top to bottom. We will turn into a banana republic. Some would argue that we are there now, where people in positions of power, from the president all the way down to traffic cop, will feel it's okay to abuse their power with no consequences. This is not the kind of country that we want to see. Gabbard may have changed course in this impeachment process, but she continued to defend her argument against impeachment as a whole. She said the inquiry must be swift, thorough, and narrowly focused, and cannot turn into a long, protracted, partisan circle. Circus. I so agree with that. In the past, she said it should have been the American voters who decided at the ballot box to vote him out. There you go. Okay, so she's very consistent. She says, yes, let's investigate, but if she thinks the Democratic Party isn't going to turn this into a circus, because the last 2 or 3 years with the Russian hoax and all the stuff that they've been pushing, and by the way, they're not talking. The funny thing about this impeachment inquiry is they're not talking about the Russian hoax anymore. They're done with it. You know what it's just very bizarre that there is no, this is just about a memo where Trump is basically doing a little Nixonian thing, which I know when you say Nixon, but Nixon wasn't impeached, he resigned. Trump ain't gonna resign, because he knows he's got the Senate. You think Trump campaigning in the Senate, do you think he didn't do that for a reason when he campaigned for those midterms and he went out there and in the Senate they actually picked up seats? He knew he was going to lose, seats in the House, but he went out there campaigning for impeachment protection because he knew that they hated him more than anything else. And by the way, again, all of this hatred and all of this impeachment talk does nothing for our country. It does nothing. It will divide the country. It will enrage the base. And if this were to succeed, folks, 2 words, Mike Pence. Progressives, Democrats, what are you thinking? And by the way, this feeds into my narrative that they want a genuine warmonger as president. They want somebody, Pence, Warren, tell me where their foreign policy is going to be different. Elizabeth Warren, Mike Pence. I don't know. I know you're going to, Pence, well, he's for, what's that thing, that therapy that he's for, and gay people get enraged, correction therapy or something. I don't even know. Tulsi Gabbard she pretended like she didn't even know what it was because her dad supposedly was for it. But they're all enraged about that. But they're not enraged, by the way, that Mike Pence would be dropping bombs at, John Bolton's request. Or whoever, Mike Pompeo. Whoever. Hey, President Pence, do you think we should bomb Iran? Yeah, sure, absolutely. This is where this will go, people, and if it were actually to go to its logical conclusion. Keep in mind, Bill Clinton did not get impeached. Well, he did, but he didn't get convicted. And that's probably where Trump is going to wind up. I think he might get impeached in the House. It goes to the Senate. And then Trump stays. And he can say, witch hunt, I'm still here. And his approval ratings will probably go up because people are going to start to sympathize with him. And yes, he is a war criminal. He is a war criminal, and whether he likes it or not, even though he's shown some restraint in the past when it comes to conflicts, a coup was staged in Venezuela, missiles were lobbed into Syria, and now we're doing propaganda to instigate a war with Iran. We've already sent troops, and tell you what, all of those things would be legitimate, and I'd be doing videos if they want to draw up articles of impeachment based on real substantive matters, constitutional matters. I'll do a video a day about that and be cheerleading away. So anyway, I don't necessarily disagree with what Tulsi's doing here. I think she's doing it for a little bit of political cover, but I think she's looking at the memo saying, yeah, this was... And I looked at it too, and I'm thinking to myself, why? Why would you even bother to go and single Trump's kid out? Because even if Biden's kid, even if he was corrupt, which apparently, he is, and so is Biden, and Biden's played this game for decades, and he's not going to get called out. He's going to look like he's, people are going to feel sorry for Joe Biden, and they shouldn't, because Trump and Biden are 2 peas in a pod. And let's just hope that the Democratic Party doesn't nominate Joe Biden. But see, that might be motivation here too. The establishment wants to rehabilitate Uncle Joe and get him to the finish line, and something like this might actually work. I hate to say it. And that's going to be a disaster, a Trump versus Biden thing. Because I think Trump might win. And if he doesn't win, you still got Biden, who is basically going to go into every war. He's not going to do Medicare for all. I mean, come on. This is what's very frustrating. All right, I'm done with this video. I guess Tulsi had to do what she had to do, and I'm not against this. It's just interesting that she's kind of switched course, and I think it might have been done just to take this off the table and just to say, yeah, I'm for this, but the inquiry has to be precise. And I think this is Tulsi Gabbard. She's nuanced. She's well thought out when she comes out with a position. And, I'm proud to support her for president. So let's see what happens. All right, done. See you all soon.